Welcome and hello and hello and welcome. Thank you for tuning in to a very incredibly special edition of Un Poco Mas. Actually, truth be told, this is going to be a very pedestrian episode where I kind of phone it in because there's not that much to say. The stock is still held around that $6.50 mark, but just a couple, as per usual, I am going to sprinkle in a couple of interesting observations and anecdotes. Guys, the SoFi wheel strategy, if you will, I think has turned into sort of a sideways figure eight or a infinity sign. You know those crazy car shows where they do the derby. I forget what it's called. They smash the cars into each other. They do sort of that that racetrack where it's shaped like a figure eight, and you just get those like crazy like T-bone and head-on collisions. Well, that's what I think is going to go on with the SoFi stock. Basically, guys, this is my contention. This is my theory. Small business banking is not really or adequately in the guidance. And small business banking is a game changer because with small business banking becomes small business lending. And with small business banking, you have millions and millions of small businesses, professionals, freelancers, U-turders, whoever it might be. And when I say U-turders, I mean ones who actually make money. But younger people who make a lot of money and they're parking that money basically in checking accounts, and they run their business out of a checking account. Most small businesses are simply run out of a checking account. And even if you have significant monies in that account, if you're with one of the larger banks, zero interest. I mean, if you round it off, it's zero. Even when rates were spiking up to 6, 7, mortgages were 7, credit cards were starting much higher. SoFi's savings rate went from like 2 or whatever it was up to I think 4.75 or 5 at one point. But the mega banks were still paying their small business clients zero. And in fact, a lot of these accounts come with account fees. If you want any special features, if you want checks, if you want to be able to use branches, if you want to use a larger network of ATMs, then particularly look at what you get into. Look at how it feeds right back what Galileo does. Payment processing. Everything they're targeting, is really business banking. Okay, they want to be the backbone of business banking. And then SoFi is actually going to offer the service. So there's a tremendous amount of synergy there. Guys, 28 million shares traded on the day, kind of moderate. Opened at 645, immediate dump, and then stock actually pumped as high as $6.60. Of course, nothing that's going to cause the $6.50 calls to print. Totally safe there, but definitely this looked pretty dramatic, and I think sucked people in. Then just this dramatic sell-off. Another observation that's just apropos of nothing, but when you talk about mechanics and you talk about algos, and I just you see this everywhere right now, guys. All the headlines, all the U-turders, SoFi is a dead stock. Like, I've just seen this so many places, so many times. I'm like, SoFi is a stock that's in the control of the market makers, just like everything else. But if you look at this bottom trend line that's kind of held since, beginning of December, definitely since the first of the year, it's still hanging here. I mean, it's still kind of reversed here off of, whatever that low was, around $6.30. So while this looks catastrophic, something I'll point out is they hit the stock very dramatically once a month. And this sell-off, if you look at the magnitude of it, just in two candles, it went from about 710 area to, I don't know what that is, about 650, 640, 645, something like that. So, it's a 65-cent sell-off, and then you look at something like this, and you're going from $9 to $7.30 or $2.70 in the same 2 days. So not that dramatic. And then you go through since New Year's. Okay, so New Year's is here. So you get just one giant sell-off, much, much larger there. You guys remember that at New Year's. This sell-off here is second one. This is larger. And then, so this is, again, first of the month. What happens? Massive sell-off in 3 days, larger than this one. You get back here, it's not exactly the first of the month, but it's like the first trading day of the second trading day of the month. Again, 2 candles, much larger sell-off. This sequence here, this little play action sequence, the stock goes from $7.87 on the close of that day toward the end of April, and then it gets all the way down and touches 661 and closes at 678. And again, that's only 2 candles. So while everybody's deciding to sort of write the obituary of the stock, this is not unusual price action. And in fact, it happened once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, and this is the 7th time it's sold off, at least to this degree, in just the last 6 months. So they're just washing people out. I don't think market makers really believe they're going to be able to accumulate this stock under 5. I don't think they think it's going to get there. I don't think they want the hard landing. I don't think the hard landing is going to happen. I just think if you get to a point where SoFi's customers, who are people with really good jobs, people with high credit scores, people with high income, who've always paid their bills their entire life, and the bear thesis is all of a sudden everything is going to get so bad because inflation is hanging around at 3.5% persistently. Everything's going to get so bad, it's just going to destroy the entire economy. It's going to wipe out the upper middle class in a tsunami of bloody carnage. Not seen since, Monty Python. Only a flesh wound, but anyway, guys, I just look at this chart. I know it broke down below 7. I know it's sustained a couple of candles below 7, but really, I mean, honestly, if you take a look at it, guys, this candle touched 7. So this is the 3rd candle, well below that $7 point. Has it broken down? I mean, honestly, you have to say that it really has at this point, but could it quite easily recover? Yes. Is that going to happen this week? Possibly, because Max Payne is still sitting at $7, guys. And I apologize if I'm even less coherent than usual. I have really, really been trying to limit my coffee intake, and it is extremely problematic. I have headaches, night terrors, bouts of insanity constantly. I'm not sure if those two things are related, but I like to think they are, because I don't like to be personally accountable for anything. Welcome and hello. Need some water. I don't think I took a breath for that first 8 minutes. Who we got here, guys? What's going on? Welcome and hello and hello and welcome. Another thing I was just going to point out, and of course I'm always trying to, grasp at straws, but notice the FUD that's back with the vengeance now. It's this accounting system. They're going to have to take a bunch of write-downs because they use a different accounting system. I remember Jeffries took a deep dive into that at the time. John Hecht, and then another analyst was Dan Dolev and his team, who took a deep dive into that accounting structure argument. And they just found there was no there. There was just no substance to it, that over time, SoFi's accounting is going to reflect the performance of the company, even if there are some, variations over the short term. If X happens, our books are going to show Y. Over the long term, it's all going to show, are your business activities profitable or not? And by how much? Are you burning cash or are you not? These things are shown by SoFi's accounting system. Analysts, that want to pretend that that the company is going to, go bankrupt, that their book value is going to get cut by 50%, that their reserve ratios are going to go from 17 to 9. Number one, the switch isn't happening. So it's not something that can be done statically. It's not something that's fair to sort of calculate or speculate about on that basis. You'd have to go back and rebuild their books from the beginning. That's why, the IRS, the regulators, the bank regulators, they're just not going to allow a bank to change accounting systems, much less force them to change accounting systems. It is absolutely not going to happen. That's what I'm told. I don't understand accounting and bank regulation and all that legal stuff at that level, but I'm just told It's not going to happen, and it's not an issue. Yes, if the loans on their books are defaulting dramatically, those loans are going to be worth a lot less. It's going to lead to write-downs, going to lead to carnage, in an ER, and it's going to lead to carnage for the stock price. Nobody's denying that, but let's just play with reality. It's not going to bankrupt the company, and their loan book just isn't falling apart, and there are demand for their loans. I think SoFi could sell every loan on their book at favorable terms if they wanted to. People want to buy these loans. I mean, that's what the market is telling you. They're not selling these to some junk companies. They're selling these to, top-rated insurance companies, top-rated financial companies. That's who Noto's counterparties are. Noto don't do business with clowns. Noto's not out on some street corner. Noto is the top of the top. He's the insider's insider. He's a cold-blooded killer. He's not our friend. He's not our buddy. He's out for himself. Period. He doesn't care about you. I'm his son, and he's never seen nor spoken to me. So what makes you think he cares about you guys? Anyway, welcome and hello and welcome. Let's see what's going on here. We got J Money, not a lurker, the best producer in the business, checking in. Caught him off guard. He was doing his thing, which you can't blame him. Subbing like you turds. There he is. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't succumb to peer pressure. J Money, just because he's got a big wrench, he's not going to hit you with it. Don't sub and like. Could be the worst mistake of your life. God. Fat people need oxygen. If you see a Ford Fiesta, little three-banger 1986 Ford Fiesta with a bumper sticker that says "Fat people need oxygen," folks, stop and say hello to Danny Deals. It's un poco mas. Welcome and hello, my people. Hello and welcome. So the gist of what I wanted to talk about is what happens when small business banking comes online. Why don't we think small business banking will come online? It turns the wheel into an infinity sign, and it opens up all sorts of possibilities. Okay, it really does. When you start thinking about SoFi at work, you start thinking about benefits, you start thinking about insurance, you start thinking about retirement, you start thinking about 401ks, you start thinking about IRAs. Anything with initials, anything with an acronym. Think about it. I wish I had my corporate jargon noisemaker, but unfortunately I left it at the office. Oh, hello and welcome. Big P was first in line. Payush, a big P, the Biatka. Not sure who that is right now. Gonna have to get back to them. Hello and welcome and hello, guys. It's un poco mas. We're talking SoFi stock. A ticker symbol is SOFI. Guys, the short volume ratio today was a very pedestrian 45%. Yesterday, 43%. That's why you see the stock moving sideways. Dramatic move down. You see 66%, 58%, etc. So this is not, hugely mysterious. Yesterday, not really sure why you saw net borrowing of 28 million shares. I think that was directly in reaction to, the Qataris dumping their 20 million shares or whatever it was. Let's get you a look of the live short interest. Of course, it's after hours now, guys. Topper time check. It's 5:18 p.m. out here in a beautiful, lovely Los Angeles. Hope it's a wonderful evening or day or morning or whatever the time it is, wherever you find yourself. So yeah, today it looks like borrowed change. They returned 4 million supposedly. Yesterday they borrowed a net of 29 million. Cost to borrow is not dipping down close to zero. In fact, it's averaging as high as 1. The short interest shares on loan dramatically up yesterday. As shown, I think short interest is actually way up. Again, we read the article yesterday in Seeking Alpha by, IP Investment Research or something. They talked about SoFi is being used by institutional investors. They're shorting it as a hedge against, consumer defaults, basically a hedge against the deterioration in deterioration in the overall macro economy. So anyway, guys, hello and welcome and hello. Hope everybody is having a great day. Great evening, however it's going, guys. We've got Mustang Rider here. Hello and welcome, Mustang Rider. Of course, the Big P checking in from Memphis, Tennessee. Payush, the Punisher, Bakta. Kids in the hall, that finger movement at Un Poco Mas. Yeah, I'm crushing you between my fingers. Like, gotta go. I'm in the middle of a big bike race. Anyway, guys, hello and welcome and welcome and hello. Kids in the hall was all sorts of brilliant. You have to assume they were Canadian. Most intelligent, funny things definitely come out of Canada. Stop console wars. Hi, how you doing? How was your day, fam? What's going on, console wars? Yeah, it's been. Oh yeah, destruction derby. I love the those are demolition derby. Demolition derby. That's what it is. And they do those like death tracks, and they're just having those massive collisions. It's crazy, but that's what I'm talking about when I talk about SoFi's business model, guys. I drew you a series of, again, incoherent pictures on my whiteboard, but this is the core wheel basically right here. And insurance is kind of a wild card. That flows into business, but this is the personal side. This is where the business side is going to be. I think the members really overlap. SoFi draws in customers, I think, quality customers. I'm not talking about the pikers that are coming in to check their credit score, kind of sniff the bleachers, and then kind of roll out without spending a dime. That's not the kind of customer I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people that are going to make us money, people with high incomes, high credit scores. Number one, we're talking about savers. Higher for longer has been great in terms of bringing in savers. I've said it a million times. I'll take SoFi savers versus Robinhood traders any day of the week and twice on Sunday. You weak sauce turd. So then we have student loans, which this has been dormant for a long, long time. They are going to awaken this sleeping giant of student loans, driving people onto the wheel. Same thing with home loans. Once they sniff that rate cut, once they get a sniff of that rate cut, they're going to drive home loans. And then this other line that I've seen going over the top, this is driving us in our second wheel in terms of our infinity tide pool. Yeah, I have a third wheel over here, guys. I drew this very, very quickly. It may not make a lot of sense, but trust me, as they add features, as they add announcements, it will make sense. I will refine it. I will diagram it. I will Venn diagram it. I will put it in a PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to broadcast it on the back of J Money's head in the town square in Perhamus, New Jersey. We're going to invite all the kids out. We're going to do free face painting. We're going to broadcast my whiteboard on Nautilurker's head. It's going to be fun for the whole family. No, I barely got through the first 10 minutes of that show without J Money. I was like, where's J Money? Is even Alberto even here? My whole moderating staff, they're out after work. If they're at work, they're on the clock. They're like, oh, I could be there in 1 second. Hey, boss, I got to go moderate Un Poco Mas. Boss, what the fuck is that? Get back to work. He's like, oh, bye-bye. If it's after hours, supposedly your free time. You guys are out exercising. You guys are out having fun. You guys are out, on dates, taking care of your children. Silly things like that. I'm over here trying to do Un Poco Mas, trying to bring you just a little bit more. Yep. Kids in the Hall is very, very good. Anyway, guys, Pop Rocks Live. I'm crushing you. Yeah, it's so good, man. So good. I forget those guys' names. It's so good. That dark-haired guy with the curly hair. He's dressed as a woman and just do those, like, melancholy, so many great skits. The Bullum heads. Laughing and loving. I seen them with their big Bullum heads. What the? Who comes up with this stuff? Hello and welcome, Colombian Kingpin. Hello and welcome. Jay Gatsby is here, the great one. Hello and welcome, Jay Gatsby. Dream of Stuff, of course, is here, just with a brief emoji. Roland Dubs is here. Hello and welcome, Roland Dubs. Good to see you again. Mac 80. Speak on the dilution and lower the share price. Yeah, there's always dilution. Stock-based compensation is a reality. It is getting actually a lot lower in terms of a ratio of the revenues, or, God forbid you say the profits or whatever you want to call it. But yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Mac 80. Dilution is, it wasn't just that. It was the two deals. I mean, I think they were very, very good deals, those senior secured note deals. But those also led to some dilution. They say that's going to be mitigated on the back end by, some type of trade, some type of hedge that SoFi did. I can't remember the details right now. My brain does not work as well as it did even 10 or 20 or 30 short years ago. Believe it or not, Ripley. Hello and welcome, guys. Welcome and hello. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some other weird stuff I drew. I'm not even sure. This is what I'm talking about with the accounting system. What I want to do is use finger quotes and say, what they do makes money. Let me repeat that. What they do makes money. So you get caught up in a FUD fog in your musty balls. And they want to say the accounting system is somehow dishonest. I saw the tweet by the twat, some big billionaire guy, and he's basically saying, hey, you know, when SoFi finally comes clean and they're honest about their accounting scam, the stock is going to absolutely crash, and then I'll be a buyer of the stock. Well, think about what, think about what FUD fog, stupid logic that is. He's like, oh, I want to buy the stock, but I'm just waiting for it to crash because their accounting's a scam and management's lying to you. But I'll buy later. Why would you want to buy a stock later? Either you're lying or you're stupid. And I know you're not stupid if you're some fucking billionaire hedge fund guy. You're probably ugly. You probably have a, tiny wang. But you're not stupid. You know how to make money. And you know what SoFi does makes money. And the accounting, what happens when things absolutely take off and they're originating a shit ton of loans. And demand goes absolutely through the roof when we see that rate cut. You're going to see that front-loaded adjustment. And, their books are going to go absolutely insane. They're going to absolutely bananas. Don't make me quote Gwen Stefani. I hate that song. Ugh. I'd rather listen to Ashley Simpson. I'd rather listen to Willow Smith, I whip my hair back and forth, which just makes me angry and violent. Probably 10 seconds of that song, I'll just knock you unconscious with a left. Oh, hate you guys. Absolutely hate you guys. Yeah, Mac, I'm not happy about it either, to be honest with you. I know Country Mac's not happy about it either. But I did an ocular pat down. I cleared him, so we're good to go. Carl, so good to see you. That reminds me of one time my grandmother, just completely out of the blue, my brother's name is not Carl. It's not even close to Carl. And she just said, hey, Carl. What? Carl? Still remember that. We were little kids. Leo Longevity, yes, it's annoying, guys, especially when you see Rochelle, the CTO, just always dumping shares, every single filing, a couple of the other directors dumping shares. The only thing I could say is Noto's still buying. I think LaPointe, I would love to see LaPointe make an open market buy. I'd love to see a couple of these other guys, buying the stock down below 650. If they have... Listen, guys, LaPointe's coming out and he's telling us a great deal of conviction. We're going to make at least 55. And he's kind of telling us with a wink and a nod, hey, 80 cents is pretty conservative. And then, if he's not actually buying the stock at $6.40, does he have the courage? I know he already has almost 1 million shares, and he's a relatively young guy, and he probably wants to diversify his assets because he's, a brilliant financial mind. He's not an idiot like us. He's going to concentrate things too much in SoFi, even though... he works at the company. I'm sure he has a lot of loyalty and faith in the company, but he's probably doing what's prudent. What would be prudent at this juncture is buying more SoFi. Hello and welcome, guys. Welcome and hello. We got Payush, of course. He's got a dollar Crunchwrap Supreme. Dude, on the Taco Bell app, God, Payush saving guys money. You can buy half a share with what you're saving on that Crunchwrap Supreme. Save $5. That's almost a share of SoFi, turds. Don't be afraid of it. I walked to work this morning because I didn't want to pay for gas. What I spent on gas this week, I'm going to buy a couple of shares of SoFi. Plus my rather ample posterior could use the exercise, if you know what I mean. Got an ass like a dump truck. And I'm not talking like Megan Thee Stallion or Beyonce. I'm talking in a very bad way. Talking doughy. Talking white. Talking flabby. Wish I had a dad bod. Ugh. Anyway, guys, hello and welcome. The horrors of modern living. Welcome and hello. We got a solid chart action. Are we bottoming? We might be power bottoming, dude ass face. But it could just be skill and cunning. Could also be power. What's up, fam? What's going on, Benji? Good to see you. Always castling right out of the gate, protecting that king. That's what we love to see. Mr. Premium of the option is still... I still like this stock, Mr. Premium of the option. Everybody's saying it's a dead stock. Kramer, of course, that, bald douchebag. He said, I'm just having to wait on SoFi. Then he came back and he said the Q1 ER wasn't even that good. When he had Noto on, he was teabagging him. He was literally licking his balls. I didn't like the ER. Just what didn't you like about it? The ER was really good. Great member ads, incredible deposit growth, a beat on EPS, a triple beat, a guidance raise. What do you want? You just didn't like the Q2 guidance because you're a bald asshole? Put that in the charitable trust. Put this in the charitable trust. Fuck you. Change your mind constantly. You piece of shit. Just throwing us under the bus every chance you get. No, it was a friend of mine, but I just have to wait. I don't like it. I didn't like Q1. The ERQ1 ER worried me. Why? God, I hate you guys. I hate Kramer way more than you guys, if that's any consolation. Gus's Chicken, SoFi, and So Sly. Premium the option, yes, but it's SoFi discounted. I mean, if you think it's Fly, it's certainly got a wounded wing. It's down. Your hound dog is kind of running a little grid pattern, looking for it. So while SoFi's down and wounded, get it cheap. Get you some cheap. Get something for yourself too, Clark. Something real nice. As Cousin Eddie would say, do not sub and like. Not a Lurker keeps banging on that drum. It's getting old, Not a Lurker. They're not going to sub and like. I haven't got any goddamn subs for past 2,000 like a year ago. Nobody's subbed. Nobody's going to sub. Wasting your breath. Anyway, well and welcome. Dovidas Skinnies. What is that? I'm probably missing some obvious bumper stumper. Dovey Das Skankies. Sounds like a shill, like no in your humor, though. Yeah, I mean, that's what everybody's saying, like, oh, I'm pumping the stock. I kind of differ in that I view a pumper as somebody who's, like, trying to just pump price action and then play a momentum trade and then dump their shares and get out. That's really not me. I actually genuinely like this company for all the reasons I'm telling you. And I own a lot of shares, and I plan to own them for a long, long time. Unless management proves to me that they're lying, that they're not actually coming through on any of this stuff. And when I see, when I see what I think is going to be a game changer in business banking come online, I mean, I think people are just really impatient. But no, I would just disagree with you. I don't think I'm a shill for the company. I'm bullish the company, but I think I try to be realistic about the pitfalls. I just don't think the accounting system is the big worry here. If I'm honest, if you want my take on the big risk with this company, it's that, basically public sentiment turns against them. It's kind of the intangible to say, why are they adding deposits so quickly? Why isn't Discover Bank doing that? Why isn't Ally Bank doing that? Why isn't American Express doing that? A lot of these other online banks and fintechs, they pay more interest than SoFi. Why are people coming to SoFi? Because they like the SoFi product. They like the SoFi ecosystem. They like the SoFi intangibles. If the public sentiment turns away from SoFi, if they have some big scandal where they're not taking care of their customer, where they're caught with their hand in the cookie jar, where they're doing something dishonest, where they're ripping off their customers, some type of a Wells Fargo moment, where they're slapped on the wrist and then given a $100 million golden parachute, no jail time, after committing thousands of felonies. No, something like that. That, to me, is the risk with the company. The model is very, very secure. You have something very safe and known. That's their core business, which is growing, which is the banking, the financial services, the lending. And then you have this wild card, which is the tech, which I don't think is really a wild card because LaPointe is telling you these customers are already online. The revenues are already there. Then you have two wheels, okay, with sort of student loans. I would argue these customers as sort of the buffer, the go-between, the linchpin between them. The first wheel's really starting to work, cross-selling. This will lead to dramatic reductions in customer acquisition costs. You're already seeing that. I think these super high net worth student loan customers you're bringing in are going to lead right in a beautiful entree into small business banking. These people need dollars to grow. They need a place to park their money that makes good interest. Okay, these are dentists, these are doctors, these are contractors, these are accountants, these are architects. What the hell is that? Like a Star Trek architect? No, architect, I can't read the rest of this. It says retarders, douchebags, Jobani yogurt, land grab. I don't know. There's a bunch of jobs, but it's a bunch of jobs that need lending, small business lending. But I think people are too impatient. Tevis was talking about this product cycle. 2021, I think they've acquired Technesis. Then 2022, 2023. Remember, we just got integrated to own SoFi's own customers. It took like 2 years to integrate all this. SoFi, Galileo, and Technesis coming under Galileo. Galileo all coming under SoFi. 2023 completely was that changeover year. We're trying to get rid of some of those customers with no members, the smaller customers, no revenues, getting new customers here. And then new revenues kicking in this year and really starting to kick in super burrito style in 2025. And that's where you get those numbers in 2026. The other place you get those numbers in 2026 is over here, the small business banking. Guys, why are they hiring, expensive people like their general counsel, who has tons and tons of experience with regulators, mega banks? He's mostly was on the consumer side, but I have no doubt that he can get that done. Another person they hired was a woman with 35 experience. I think she was a vice president with the New York Fed, extremely influential hire. These are people with access to the highest levels of regulators in Washington, D.C. These are the people who can get business banking done. That's what I believe. That's why they're paying these people. That's why they're giving them stock. Because business banking, I think, is going to be a cash cow. Because nobody is taking care of these young, affluent, small business people, these influencers, these freelancers, these people with these, big training studios, these, chains of salons, people with chains of lucrative restaurants, nightclubs. Think about how much cash they're coming through there, how much cash they're parking in their checking account and not earning any interest. Think about if SoFi just started paying them 5%. 4%, 3%, whatever it is. It's free money for them. They don't have to do anything different. Think about it. Anyway, guys, that's mostly what I had. I know it wasn't the best show I've ever done. Kind of a big smelly turd, but it's more than you guys deserve. Sound like a shill. Back to you. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of reasons not to buy this stock, guys. They just started making money. It's going to require some patience, for that valuation to come around. It certainly looks like the stock's, being shorted heavily, which that's really a negative. Everybody wants to say, oh, that's a positive. It'll squeeze. I tell you, the only short squeeze happening is you turds playing pocket pool at home when you're supposed to be working on your spreadsheets, your TPS reports. That's the only short squeeze you're getting into. SoFi's not short squeezing. There's just tons of shares available. They just keep shorting it and shorting it, shorting it. Every time it wants to run, they push it down beforehand, let it run 20%, suck everybody in at the top, short it again. What's going on? Again, Columbia Kingpin is here. Payush is here. It's all the same people just commenting over and over. David Chiaverini here. Think about the number 3. I'm thinking about the number 3. That is you at full staff, my good man.
Susma. Oh, we're so sorry. Oh, your big American penis. Susma. So sorry. We can't be a threat to you with our tiny penis.
Asking if we wanted extra cheese. Drinking my tea and listening to class's SoFi lecture. I love this. Professor Turd at the head of the class. Better than Professor Turgison, not Professor Turgison. He's like, oh, you want to help, Mr. Helper? Why don't you help me? Why don't you tell me why MacArthur was too much for him? Like, oh, I'll tell you, these kids won't even know. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Like, Back to School. Highly underrated film. It's like, well, you want to go out sometime? It's like, how about Thursday? It's like, I have class. He's like, how about Friday? Class. He's like, well, call me sometime when you have no class. I just love jokes like that. He's like, I take my wife everywhere, but she finds her way home. My wife said, what do you want for your anniversary? He said, take me someplace I've never been. He's like, how about the kitchen? Like, Rodney Dangerfield, I saw some of the replays on YouTube. If you hear him on Carson, he does 15 minutes. Johnny, who, usually holds himself together pretty well, holds his composure. Johnny is just absolutely losing it. And Rodney Dangerfield, in the 15 minutes, he must have told 7,000 jokes. I mean, just perfect jokes. It was a master class in stand-up comedy. It was just one of those things I can watch over and over and be like, I will never, ever, ever be 1% that good, no matter how much I work on it. But anyway, guys, hello and welcome, and hello and welcome. I don't think anybody's ever here. SoFi, yeah, Boston, guys, you got to take your hats off to them. It's good for SoFi. I'm not the hugest Boston fan, but congratulations to all those Celtics fans out there. You got to give credit where credit is due, and scoreboard is scoreboard, so you can't cry about it. Alf, yeah, we have the same haircut. Yeah, I was wearing a hat today, Alf, so I can't do my Alf. I forgot how. I used to do one when I was little. Hello and welcome. It's just all the same people. Payush, Alf, Vanna White. Roaring Kitty is here to greet Whispering Puppy. Let's go, Alf. Gonna fight Roaring Kitty versus Alf. Ben G is laughing his ass off. Good. Hope you can find your ass, Ben G. Be tough to go to the restroom or sit down without it, good sir. David Blanchard is here. Sold part of my Palantir for Sofi. Yeah, no, I don't think Palantir's going to run from here. I think it could end. I don't think Palantir can run anymore from evaluate. What's the market cap right now? 56 billion? They're barely selling more than SoFi, guys. The valuation on Palantir is crazy, in my opinion. They just put AI behind anything. I mean, with Nvidia, yeah, it's legit. Look at their margins. Look at their profits. I mean, Palantir is just like couple years ahead of SoFi, a year ahead. The valuation difference there is crazy. Almost 10 times the valuation of SoFi. I think SoFi is going to ultimately have better margins than Palantir. It is hard to sell that stuff. Outside sales is harder and more expensive than people think. And what SoFi got, this shit sells itself. This shit sells itself. Oh, Mike Hill is here. Sirs and madams, welcome and hello. Good to see you, Mike Hill. No better people than swamp people. Swamp people. Down in Bayou Sorrel, Willie Joe was shooting an alligator in the head with a .22 rifle. He's like, we got one hell on the line up there. Hold it up and shoot it. Shoot it. Ay, ay, ay. Welcome and hello. Jeffrey Dahmer is here. He likes swamp people. I'm not shocked to learn that, Jeffrey Dahmer. Anthony Noto will have his time. Lisa Student take over Intel, a 5-year battle. I mean, yeah, guys, everybody is very short-sighted, very short-term. You guys aren't 70 years old. You're not retiring tomorrow. Just relax, hold on to your chonies, and, do what you're going to do. I mean, I don't blame you. You get impatient. You want to buy something else. Do what you're going to do. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. None of us have enough money to really matter. We're just flapping our gums. We're just jaw-jacking. We're just whistling Dixie. Let's see, Hood, Clume, SoFi, institutional owner. Yeah, I mean, it's not, it's, okay, I think it's a bit higher than that now. It's like 450 million. But no, we're not doomed. They're just, they're making more money, they're driving it down, but there's a floor to that. They're not going to drive the stock price down to zero. At a certain point, what happens is with a good company, the institutions flip it and go long. I think we might be seeing that happen, but then they're reshorting. And I think the massive insider selling, the stock should have gone up considerably when you got these numbers that indicated inflation was weakening, going down, which the last sort of 3 readouts have indicated that. You would have thought that would have sent SoFi significantly higher back into the 7s. But contraire, mon frere, that's not what we saw because, the Qataris sold $135 million worth of shares on the open market all at once. So that's a little bit of a shock to the system. They see all that borrowing the next couple of days on the back end. So not sure what that's all about. But the only way to feel better about the stock price being down is buying more and lower your average. I mean, yeah, you can. But I mean, just for me, the way you feel better about it is just looking at the fundamentals and listening to management. I mean, listen to Lapointe when he says these numbers of us hitting 80 cents are with nothing else. No new products, nothing new on the roadmap, no new acquisitions. He's telling you, guys, we have an ace in the hole. It's called business banking, business lending, business lines of credit. It feeds right into these IPOs, this private equity. It feeds into the SoFi at work. It feeds into the benefits. It's all coming together, guys. This thing is not just going to be a wheel. It's going to be a vortex of profit. It's going to be a 3-dimensional vortex of cash. See the cash machines where it's spinning around? Usually they pick some busty woman to go in there. Like Venezuelan TV. Oh! The dark secrets of COVID. Anyway, no, yeah. It's just, sorry guys, gotta drink some water. It's just a cash grab. This business model is going to spin off a mass of free cash. That's why I know institutions are going to go long. They might hate this company. The big banks might be their competition. The Qatari selling does not bother me, pardon me, nearly as much as if BlackRock or Fidelity or State Street or some of these other, I would say a little bit more mainstream institutions had dumped all their shares. That's not what we're seeing right now, guys. we're seeing institutions actually buying the stock outside of that one, of course, massive, massive sale. And these guys were selling Rochelle again. Everybody's, I don't know. I think these are probably grants, and LaPointe and Noto aren't selling. But then if you look back a little bit further, what's his name? Borton. No, Rochelle was selling, and then somebody else was selling. I think it was this Robert Lavitt guy, who I think might be the old general counsel. I'm not sure. But anyway, if you look back, High Point Advisors today, another stake. Quadrature Capital purchases a new stake. And then you had Zach's taking a look at the stock, saying, why it was a smart time to buy SoFi. Just looking at I think that might have propped up the stock just a tiny bit. There's a lot of idiots who read Zach for their Zach score. It has a Zach score of 3, which is a hold. What we do is we use a model where if you're going by analyst upgrade and downgrade on EPS targets and stuff, it's just absolute dog shit. Analysts aren't trying to be right. Most of them aren't trying to tell the truth. Some of them are, but enough of them aren't where it just really skews the data set. And I don't like a skewed data set. I don't like a skewed eye. I don't like a stank eye. I don't like any of that stuff. Brian Moynihan, no idea what you're talking about. Uncle Noto keeps buying, so will I. I'm with you, Andrew Choi. I'm with you. You sound like Cartman. I think I was doing a Cartman impression there for a while. I don't think I generally sound like Cartman. But I definitely can do a Cartman. Like, yes, Eric. You would tell me if you were doing German Shyster films, right? Oh, of course, Eric. He's shorting the stock. That's why those twats donut all the time. People hate that Ciccarini guy because he downgrades. He's really a fake AI bot. Joe fuck yourself, SoFi. Special short fuckbo. Okay, Dream of Stuff. I'm not sure that made a lot of sense. I think you might be a bot. B of A's Erica versus SoFi's Liz Young was Young. Liz Young versus Erica. One is AI, one is real. Kind of an apples and oranges comparison. Don't read into that. Brian Vader. I want Noto to get Danny Deals on the next earnings call. Take questions from the 2 turd analysts. Brian, once again, if you can get word to my biological father, Anthony Noto, if you can get word to SoFi PR, I offer my services completely pro bono. Okay? I can get out and tell the truth. I am not bound by the confines of good taste, judgment, restraint. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to speak truth to power. And that's that this is a good company and that these shorts are short-weighing turds. I think we all know that to be true. Mike Hill, anyway, I want to say hello to everybody. I'm running out of time. Payush, Dream of Stuff, Chad Borton's waiting for Ford to add to his considerable position. Benji is here, do not like. Jeff Presley is here. He's here, Danny. Did someone say steak and cheese sub and like? Yep. Little steak and skee ball, my friend. Little bit mushroom. Oh, you guys like mushroom on a nice Philly cheesesteak sandwich? Give me a little hot pepper relish, okay? You add on some more jalapenos. You hit me with double cheese. You hit me with double meat. You hit me with that 14-inch hoagie roll. You hit me with some nice thin sliced ribeye. And my secret is I like a little bit of brown mustard on it. I know, it's crazy. But welcome and hello, guys. Hello and welcome to my food dreams. Let's see. I have them all the time. Noto's hitting singles right now and waiting for a home run. Because Noto does not want to hit a home run right now because his stock options do not vest right now. It does Noto absolutely no good to pump the stock to 12 or 14. And then if he dumps, it's going to go right back down. And the money he's going to make dumping is absolutely nothing compared to what he can get on these goddamn stock options. He's not playing for peanuts. He's not playing for pennies. He's not playing the short game. He's playing the long game. Oh, I hate you guys. Jeff Presley, Cefe, sub the SoFi channel too. Do not sub my channel, sub someone else's channel. Singles turn into doubles, doubles turn into triples. I have never hit an inside the park home run. I had one triple in my baseball career. It's because I'm portly and slow. I had a ton of doubles, tons of doubles, a lot of home runs, but not a lot of triples. Never an inside the park home run either. But we didn't really have fences, so I just hit the ball 400 feet. That'd be a home run, and you're like 8 years old. I may become homeless, divorced, and senile. I put everything in SoFi, Noto's deep pockets. Good, good for your ex. She'll be fine. She'll move on. Caldas de Reina Rio Mayor. Hello and welcome. Hola y bienvenidos. Red Rocket, he's not talking about his dog's penis. He's talking about the SoFi stock. Chuck Connors is back, the rifleman, that little lever action, Sorry I'm late, I was in a dumpster diving for an next meal after buying the dip. That's what they mean by buying the dip. You're looking for a little half-eaten onion dip after somebody's Labor Day party. Oh, that's not bad, just a little mold, just scrape it off. My Sofi's not doing so well. Honey, come outside, dinner's ready. He's like, I'm gonna stay out here in the garage, honey. Sofi's not doing well. It's like, I know, honey. You're a degenerate bastard. You should have been putting that money in NVIDIA. He's like, oh, thanks, honey. Thank you. I know that. Shark Tank people need to sign up for Sofi. Yeah, Damon John. He could, put a pink lining in there. We'd be much better off. Need Sofi to be a day to make me happy. Shark Tank, gotta get entrepreneurs. Grit and Grunt, you need a loan, Danny. No, I'm doing just fine, Grit and Grunt. I am very, very liquid. Don't sub and like. Not a Lurker keeps singing that song. Everybody's tired of hearing it, not a Lurker. They know the words. Vabohav, stop making up such hard names. Is that your real name? Vibhav Taneha. I did get a letter from Sofi about a stop payment check. That wasn't the issue. The issue was a number listed on the letter. 1-800-SEX line. Accidentally put in their letter. Sounds very strange. Bob. Billy Jack. Sofi's books are looked closer than business weeks. They look at penny. I know. Billy Jack. If the regulators wanted them, they would never want them to switch accounting systems. It's never going to happen. And these loans are not going bad at this catastrophic rate. They're just not. It's all FUD. They keep saying Sofi's balance sheet is in trouble and they're going to have to raise money. On the other hand, they're saying there's not demand for their loans. On the other hand, they're saying there's not demand to sell off the loans they have in their books. It's all complete bullshit. It's all projection because these analysts are south of the equator. They're playing small ball, if you know what I mean. They're choking up because they have to. Can only get one hand on the bat. Hello and welcome, guys. Hello and welcome. Payush. Payush is a volume shooter, but he's a quality shooter. He takes quality shots and volume shots. Oh, have you seen my statement? Twin line taper, I prefer the twin line taper. It doesn't jam. I told if Marianne to listen to her headphones while she is filing, I could listen to my radio while I'm collating. Like, we're going to go ahead and need you to move down to the basement. We have some new people coming in, and you take this can of bug spray and kind of attack that roach problem we have down there. That would be great. Lumberg fucked her. He's like, Lumberg fucked her. He's like, yeah. Maybe have the right Lumberg. Anyway, Office Space, another classic, guys. Welcome and hello. I got to get out of this. Shorting to make it easier money in the market. Nala, it's all negative. Fuck stop. It's a piece of shit. Noto eats cow dick. The point is horrible. Well, that's an opinion dream of stuff. You've certainly turned nasty in a minute. Or is that a spoof account? Is that a tribute account? Does Dream of Stuff now have Doppelganger? Oh, the drama, guys. See it on my after show. I'm doing an after show. It's called Sofi Weekly, WEAKLY. It's going to be me and Andy Cohen. We're going to take, or Andy Cohen, however you say that. We're just going to take a boozy look at the outfits, sort of the scene behind the scene. Who's sleeping with who in Canada? All that fun stuff. Back to school. We got Paul LeBeau, I'm sorry. We're all Form 4-4s coming out so late tonight, probably because they didn't want us to turders to see them and blah, blah about them. Not to worry, sold $36 puts. They're scared of me. Everybody's scared of you, Jeff Presley. You're the big orange monster. You're the big orange J. Palantir's going 2070 and count on that, and then 30, but give it a little time. This could be. This isn't what I call. I was stupid. I got my shares, I think, at 12 and sold them, I think, at 18. I was like, I got a 50% profit out of Palantir. I was like, man, I thought it was going to hit resistance at 20, pull back. Kind of did, but then it made another run. So I was ass out. I have a little tiny bit, but not enough to speak of. Anyway, Benji, my buddy, lives in Bayou Sorrel. Seriously, a bunch of meth heads out there. I'm completely down in Bayou Sorrel. Like, yeah, what's he doing? He's catching a fucking alligator on a hook with some raw meat and then shooting it in the head with a .22 rifle. That's what they're all doing. No matter what bayou. All that dang on this, I'm gonna shoot a gator. That gator meat, that good gator meat. This is I don't have anything against the people. I don't have anything people eating alligators. There's tons of them, but it's not a TV show. Just some guy just driving around in a boat, just shooting alligators with a .22 rifle on a rope. What the fuck? I'd rather watch Bobo and hunting Bigfoot. I'd rather watch Alf. At least he has my same haircut. I'm stuck in the 80s in more ways than one. Wish my weight was. Oh, so many friends in the studio audience. Hello and welcome, welcome and hello. Looks like Not a Lurker has zoomed me back out so you can see my big, sweaty, misshapen head. Thanks, Not a Lurker. J Money trying to make me look bad. Don't you know this is HD? Oh, it adds 50 years and probably around 100 pounds. Anyway, guys, that's really all I had. I can't read any more of your asinine comments. There's so many of you in just saying almost nothing. I think Payush has left at least probably 400, 500, 600 comments. If Alberto Bertie Avilés was here, he would have smashed him over the head with a wrench by now. But J Money's a nice guy. Let's Payush just run now. I love Payush. I love Big P. Say whatever you want, Payush. The world is your oyster. You have carte blanche. You have carte blanche. Anyway, guys, hello and welcome. It's a Sofi stock. I don't really know what I was talking about this whole time. I was probably completely incoherent. But anyway, that's the breaks. It's your fault for watching. I didn't say it was going to be good. I said right at the beginning it was going to be an absolute piece of shit. And I never fail to disappoint. So I want to thank Not a Lurker J Money. I want to thank Alberto Bertie Avilés. Even though he wasn't really here, guys, that's off our Olive Fart menu. Stop with the Seth Rogen. Okay, just some middle-aged chunky turd with a bad sense of humor who's always like ranting and raving and spitting all over himself. I'm not Seth Rogen. All right, I might look a little bit like Seth Rogen, but seriously, you don't have to keep saying it. It's going to upset my mother. My grandmother's rolling over in her grave. She starts to go, "You have the perfect German nose." I'm like, "Thanks, Grandma." Sounds like something Hitler would say. Anyway, that was funny. I used to give her the business. Rest in peace. But anyway, guys, I don't know. That's really all I had. I haven't really said anything of substance for about the last 45 minutes, and it's only been 50 minutes. So on that note, I'm going to say hello and welcome and goodbye and un poco mas and all of that fun bullshit, guys. Have a great night. Sofi is just fine as a company. Yes, the stock is... being toyed with, being shorted, being pushed down. I don't think $6.41 the end of the world. Remember, the all-time lows were way, way down the fours. And this thing was just a hair higher than this just a few months ago. And they shorted a couple days to get it down here. And now they're churning it. And, they seem to want to accumulate these levels. Let's see if they push it down another 50 cents. Options are saying it's actually going to go back up towards 7. Time will tell, guys. I'm no prognosticator. I'm just a chunky stock monkey, your buddy Danny Deals. Peace! I'm out.